Mysterious drones spotted in the New Jersey night sky, prompting an FBI investigation. Residents in Morris County have been recording the large drones which appear in the sky at night. They say it started in mid-November. So joining me now is Mayor Sam Morris, and Mine Hill Township is experiencing some of this activity. Mayor, thank you, first of all, for your time. You've seen these drones. Before we talk about the theories on the source of them, kind of just describe what you've experienced.
Been hearing about them, but last Tuesday night, a resident in town, one of my neighbors on my block, said that there were 8 overhead over our elementary school and municipal complex, which are, on the same block. So I got in my car and I rode around here, and by the time I got around here, which is only about a half-mile ride, the drones had all moved east over the town of Dover, New Jersey, kind of in between us. There's a large county park, and they were everywhere. I have a video of, it was 4 with a kind of a stationary drone. What it appeared to us was there was 1 drone that was just stationary, and 4 were going back and forth in a scanning pattern. I'm a little older, so I would, look like Pong from back in the day, right? Back, forth, and they went over the town of Dover. I went down into Dover to see a better look, get some more pictures, and they moved east again. And that was my own personal observation. I have residents reporting, last night some residents reported that there were, over various times of the evening, they were watching, and there were 12 over our lake. And they can't get pictures because they come out really grainy, and they're still like little dots on cell phones. I'm hoping some folks with some really good equipment can get out there. I know there's a fellow in town who has infrared night equipment who's going out tonight looking. He's going to try to see if he can get. But it's very disconcerting.
What do you think is going on, Mayor? What do you think this is?
Well, to be intentionally a little inflammatory, the state of New Jersey has been invaded by drones. The question and the problem and the nervousness is by who? Because they are everywhere. There are hundreds of these things. I have friends up and down the state. They're reporting down at the Jersey Shore, in southern counties, Cape May, all the way up into Sussex County. The length of the state, they're reporting that there are drones everywhere. Theories range from that it's a military exercise because President Trump flies in and out of New Jersey and has property here, to they're organized clubs who are just putting them up in the air. But the activity of the drones, the methodical scanning back and forth, it gives a lot of people pause because they're not really sure what that's about. There are people who say they're geo tracking or something. I forget what the word is, scanning, almost like a Google Earth, but a night thing, but it's all crazy speculation in the fact that no one's provided answers.
Right. So we know that it's prompted some FBI investigations, or at least word of them. What do you think happens next, Mayor?
What I hope happens next is, this is how I see it, and I'm not speaking for any of the other mayors that have been on the letters that have been presented. I'm just going to speak for myself. Either or, they either need to tell us or trusted people around us, like county sheriffs, who can reassure us that they know what it is and they are comfortable with what it is, and that, we all know there are things that the government can't tell us for security reasons, or they need to go find out.
Right.
They need to, one of the phrases I've been using is, they need to follow a drone home. These drones only have limited battery life, right?
Yeah.
Concerning drone sightings, there are new questions this afternoon and a push to get to the bottom of what's going on.
That's because mysterious objects have been spotted all over our region, from Camden County to Delaware County, even in Philadelphia's Mayfair neighborhood. Now some lawmakers in New Jersey are demanding action from state leaders to figure out what's going on.
And State Senator Doug Steinhardt says that's simply not good enough.
There's an absence of a lot of credible information and answers from some of our state leaders, especially in New Jersey, that there's nothing to see here or nothing to worry about. Doesn't help allay anybody's concerns.
And Steinhardt says he's not just speaking as a lawmaker, he's speaking as a witness.
And I walked out on my front porch last night and saw what looked like drone activity to me. I mean, I've seen airplanes cross the sky before, and this wasn't that. So and there were less than a dozen, but more than a half a dozen of those floating around the skies.
The report says when an official aircraft approached one set one night, the lights on the drones went dark. And last night, 49 additional sightings were reported, including 20 in Hunterdon County.
I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership literally at the very top yesterday for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later.
The Morris County mayors are asking for a full investigation to determine their origin, purpose, if they are in compliance with regulations, clear communication to local officials, law enforcement, and residents on the findings of that investigation, and they want measures put in place to prevent unauthorized or unsafe drone operations in Morris County.
It's difficult to kind of wrap your head around. They're no threat, but we don't know what they're there for or who's piloting.
The FBI, Homeland Security, and state police are asking anyone with any information about the drones or if you've seen the drones to contact them at 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Who at one time was on the Homeland Security and Armed Services committees. And basically we asked him what should be done about these things. He had a really interesting answer. Take a listen.
You've always got to kind of strike the balance. Yeah. I mean, I personally believe that any drone that's in the skies should be able to be taken down if there's not some way to authenticate them.
Says any drone should be taken down if we can't authenticate them. We've heard others express serious support for that kind of thing. In fact, there is legislation right now working its way through Congress that would authorize the military to be able to more quickly shoot down drones. This came about after the Chinese balloon episode back in last year. But there again are several who think that we should be taking swifter action. As of right now, it doesn't appear that the military is authorizing anything like that, Nicole.
There's other reporting or other videos showing these objects dropping, spheres or something out of them like this. Now, this is not something that we haven't seen before, right? UFOs do this. They'll drop slag and stuff like that people have even recovered. So that object right there, that's, in my mind, that's not a drone. That is an anomalous object, no doubt. Some of these objects may or may not be drones. I mean, they look like drones. They sound like drones sometimes. Sometimes they sound like planes. Sometimes they look like planes. Sometimes they look like drones pretending to be planes. But that thing right there is anomalous.
Back with a growing mystery. Swarms of drones, some the size of small cars, flying at night over parts of New Jersey and now New York City, neighborhoods on edge. And today, a new sighting over a high-ranking military meeting in California. George Solis has more.
Tonight, an aerial mystery that's been described as unnerving is growing. The FBI now investigating multiple reports of unidentified drones flying over New Jersey, some as large as a small car. And today, a large drone seen here, also described as the size of a small vehicle, flying over a California event where Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was in attendance.
More drones in the sky. Rockaway, New Jersey.
The New Jersey drones, initially spotted in the northern part of the state, now being reported further south. Sightings also now being reported in New York City. Staten Island Borough President Vito Fossella calling on the FAA and FBI to expand their investigation.
People have seen a number of 15-foot or so wingspan drones hovering around. In this day and age, I just don't think that that's something you take lightly. If it is nothing to be concerned about, someone should come forward and say that.
Residents alarmed by the number of sightings.
One would go over, and then the next one would come, and then the next one, and the next one. So it wasn't like there would be 20 coming at one time.
Jonathan Lace, a pilot himself, shot this shocking video overnight of multiple car-sized drones near the Essex County, New Jersey airport. So concerned by what he saw, he contacted the FAA.
What's been probably the most alarming thing to you as a pilot, I can tell you that, when you're about to land, the last thing you want to see is something hovering in front of you.
What is that? With many questions and few answers, residents and officials alike on high alert as the mystery in the sky deepens.
Okay, so there you go. What the heck is going on? It's looking more and more anomalous and less likely to be Russia or China, as some sort of show of force, like, don't F with us, you're ratcheting up the tension and, don't do that. Don't give missiles to the Ukraine. That was one of the, stories that were going around, which is, that was precipitating this, series of events, this phenomenon. But actually, this phenomenon has been going on for years before the war in the Ukraine, as, that article from the War Zone demonstrates. And there's, plenty of other material, showing these series of incidents over the years. So this is all part of a pattern that we've been seeing emerging over the last few years and really going back decades, UFO activity over military bases. But it seems to be entering a new phase and ramping up, maybe to get our attention, maybe because of the tensions in the Ukraine and, Russia and the threat of World War III. Maybe the phenomenon says enough is enough. The kids have been playing with the matches and we need to step in and intervene, but we're going to do it in a subtle way. As a thought experiment, let's just say it is indeed the phenomenon. Why then are they, disguising themselves as drones? Well, again, it could be to be subtle, instead of freaking people the hell out. There's these weird drones. Okay, humans know drones. They have drone technology. So let's do some drones. Let's do some weird drones, though. Get people's attention and get people talking about it. Slowly they get more anomalous as we get on and expand people's minds and gradually, bring about UFO disclosure. Just as a thought experiment, that could be what's going on. If that is what's going on, it's working because mainstream news, Fox, NBC, are reporting on this, favorably, not laughing at it or, I don't even know how you could laugh at this since it is a real event going on. And that's also part of the beauty of doing it over military bases. I mean, not that that's a good thing, but, it does get the military's attention and it makes it acceptable to the mainstream in a way it might not be if it were just some farmer in Nebraska or something. So, in the same way that those Navy videos that Lou Elizondo got out in 2017 made this more acceptable to many people, including myself. That could be the strategy on the phenomenon's part. And again, if so, it's working. I've had, my mom come up to me. I've had various other people I know come up to me and say, hey, Jack, you're into this UFO stuff. What do you think about this drone situation? So, it's getting people's attention. It's getting the mainstream's attention. I'm not saying this is definitively the phenomenon, but I think, at least some of this activity is pretty much definitive that it's the phenomenon. Others, it's hard to tell. Some of that footage really does look like drones.